Subscribe to Get Curried and click on the bell icon for more updates.
Today, let's make a simple home-style chicken curry, but from Mangalore. It's called Kori Gassi. Let's begin. Korri Gassi is a simple coconutty, spicy gravy which also has the tang of tamarind. But for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the recipe into 3 parts. The first part is making the spice mix. For that, of course, I'm going to heat a pan and add in some ghee. The pan is heated up and so is the ghee. The first thing that goes in this are some sliced onions. I'm using red onions because that gives it nice flavor and punch. Allow this to cook on medium flame till they're kind of translucent, and once that happens, I'll add in freshly grated coconut. Well, I'm adding the coconut a little earlier now because the onion and coconut, once cooked together, will give it a nice flavor and will evenly start browning at the same time. Well, if you've already read the recipe, which is down in the description box, you'll realize that the onion is in all the 3 stages. Now, if you notice here, coming back to the recipe, the onion and coconut have slightly changed color and they've become golden brown in color. The next thing that goes in are some chilies for spice, and along with this, chilies for color. These are dried red chilies. Well, I'm using Byadagi and Kashmiri. Along with this, let's add in cloves of garlic. And finally, let's begin with some spices. Let's first begin with a stick of cinnamon. To this, I'll add in cumin. Along with this, peppercorns. And finally, white poppy seeds. Well, white poppy seeds in this recipe are completely optional, so you can take a call. Mix this well. After a minute, off goes the flame and allow this mixture to cool down completely. The only purpose of cooking this on high flame is to kind of release the essential oils of the spices and ensure that it does not get burnt. It's been roughly around 15-20 minutes and this mixture that we just roasted has cooled down to room temperature. Let's transfer this in a mixer jar. Before grinding this, let's add in 3 quick ingredients, which of course are extremely essential. The first one is Fenugreek powder. Well, you can also use whole fenugreek. The next thing that goes in are roasted coriander seeds, which are ground into powder. Along with this, some tamarind for that nice and essential tang. And finally, some water. We need to grind this into a nice and smooth paste. Well, with this, your curry paste is done and ready. Let's now move on to the next step, and that is cooking the masala. And for this again, let's begin with a tablespoon of ghee. To this, let's add in the second batch of onions, this time finely chopped. Allow this to cook on high flame till they're kind of translucent in color. After a minute or so, time to add in chopped tomatoes. And at this stage, for the tomatoes to kind of cook faster, I'm adding in a little bit of salt. Well, now if you notice, the tomatoes have become nice and soft. Time to add in the curry paste. Well, they say Indian cooking takes a lot of time because the curries, of course, some of them involve a lot of spice mixes and curry paste. But trust me, if you can make this in advance, put it in the freezer, you can actually make this curry under some minutes. Give this a nice mix, and with this we'll also add in turmeric and salt. This time the salt would be as much required as for the chicken and the curry. Give this a good mix. Time to add in pieces of chicken. What I'm using is chicken cut into curry cuts. Time to add in water. Shake this lightly. And here you see, your jar is nice and clean. Let's give this a stir, and while stirring in, let's add in one last final and critical ingredient, and that is freshly pressed coconut milk or coconut cream. Well, with this, the gassi becomes nice, rich, flavorful and naturally sweetened. One final stir, and on medium flame, we need to cover this and cook it for a minimum of 20 minutes or till the chicken pieces are nice, done and succulent. It's been 20 minutes and our Korri Gassi or chicken gassi is done and ready. Let's have a quick check. Well, this is a gassi or a curry that goes amazingly well with steamed rice, but traditionally in Mangalore, this is something that's served with something called roti. Well, finally, one last step as promised. You need to take some ghee in a pan and saute the onions till they are nice, translucent or golden brown and give it the much required tadka. On that note, do not forget to like and share the video and subscribe to Get Curried.